Good morning. It is extremely early, and I am headed to the airport. It's my clock on my dash says 4:01 a.m. My flight leaves in a few hours, and we're going to Houston today. I thought it'd be nice to take you behind the scenes of one of my book signings. So, come on, let's go to Houston. All right, so we made it to my airplane, and now we're waiting to take off. Can't wait to make it to Houston so that you guys can see what it's like. Stop. Hold up, sis. There are several other steps that you've got to do before we even board that plane. Come on, back it up. All right, so just a note before we get into this. This information that I'm giving to you on the behind the scenes on this particular signing is information that pertains to me. In no way am I saying that every author does it this way, because that's simply not true. Just not. So, book signing. All of them start out with an invitation. How do you get an invitation? Well, what happens is I will search and see what signings are going on, and it's usually a year out. What signings are happening? This particular signing that Sapphire Knight does is phenomenal. I have been to all the ones that she's done, including this one, and she just really does a great job. So any authors who have never signed with in her particular signing, I highly recommend it. She does, I just can't tell you how amazing a job it is. So we have the invite in hand. We're going. Sometime later, the host will send out information on hotels. So you've got to claim your hotel room. Then, for me personally, I will post a pre-order link where I simply use Google Forms. Go in. They're not my favorite, but it's effective. It works. They've never failed me, so I use them. So I send this out. The readers, I will post it in the group that's designed for the signing for the readers. I will do it a couple times. Once I've done that, so I will go in 2 months before, and I will order books. I have two sources that I use. I use Barnes & Noble, and I use Amazon. They both have their pros and cons. I use Barnes & Noble more than I use Amazon. Barnes & Noble has a much shorter ship time to me than Amazon does. Again, they both have their positive and negatives. That's just what works for me. Some authors will ship their books directly to the signing. Now, I will do that on my international signings. If I go across the pond, then I have some friends in Europe that I say, hey, can I send you a couple of boxes? And I've never had a problem with that before. So again, that's what works for me. So with this particular one, I get all my orders together, and then I have to do, for me anyway, it's a guesstimation. Coin that word. It's how many tickets have been sold, and how have I been to this particular area of the country before. With this signing, I have never been to Houston. I've been to San Antonio and I've been to Austin, but I'd never been so far south as Houston. So, I always take more of my first book in series than I do the rest of the books. And anything I have new, I take a lot of. A lot meaning between 15 and 20 books over my pre-orders. Now, comes the fun part. Since I fly, I am not a big driver. It's just not my preference. I tend to, and this will be one of those tips for other authors. I tend to fly first class, not because I feel the need to be bougie, but because there are higher weight limits for luggage with first class, meaning that I could buy a $400 cheap seat ticket to go to Houston, but then each of my bags that are over 50 pounds, because that's all you get, 50 pounds. So I have all these books, plus all my table stuff, plus let's not forget about clothes, because you can't show up at these places naked. It is quite frowned upon. So you have to show up with all this stuff, and 50 pounds each. And if you, with most airlines, if you go over, it's $200 minimum when you go over the weight limit. So for me, I get 70 pounds, 70 pounds. I get a bigger seat. I get food, drinks. For me, it's worth it. I use a lot of points. I shop with I found a really good credit card that allows me to do some points. So I highly recommend that as well. I will do a lot of teasers in these groups before the signing happens. I want them excited. I want those readers to come to see me. Even if you don't buy a book from me, I want to get to know you. Intrigue you, because the reality is, and we'll talk about that later in this video, is that just because I don't sell a book at the signing doesn't mean I don't sell a book. All right. I've talked long enough. Let's get on that plane and get our little heinies to Houston. And flight was great. Now I'm headed to baggage claim and then to rental car. Come on, let's go. So a little explanation here. The resort is absolutely huge. It's also an hour away from the airport. All right, so I finally made it to my room, which now some of the real work begins. And so I just wanted to give you just a small tour of what we're looking at here. It's an incredible room. But yeah, but this is a work trip. A computer. Okay, so I can put it over here. I'll need to wait for it. All right, so today's the big day. I did not film setting up my table because honestly, I focused more on setting up the table than worrying about this. It would have bored you to tears because I changed my mind about 72 times. So anyway, so we are headed down and going to show you what it's like before everybody comes in. Come on. All right, so I'm going to try and talk over everybody because it is like mega loud in here. Again, I wanted to show you what it was like before all the people come in. Now, I have muted everybody out because I just wanted your attention for this one. All right, so this is right before all the chaos begins, even though you can't even imagine how loud it is in here once 500, almost 600 people get in here. But I'm going to give you a tour of the room right quick, and yeah, what you see. All right, this is what it looks like before all the readers come in. Everybody's set up, or scrambling to get set up. I personally like to set up the night before. Not everybody lives on the same page I do, but that's just me. And as you can see, it just goes on and on and on and on. I can't remember exactly how many authors are at this function today, and I'm going to be real careful with my table because I have one book in particular that has not been released yet. There's all my babies, all my men who are hotter than the asphalt. It's all my stuff there. Get a little bit better. So yeah, this particular signing, I'm giving away this Dooney bag, and there's the rules on how to do it. But, oh, and there's my lovely assistant over there across the room. So yeah, this is the crazy. This is before the crazy. Or actually, I should say this is the calm before the crazy. Say hey! This is what it looks like standing in line, getting ready to start. This was a banner that you see briefly in the clip before this one. I unfortunately did not have the opportunity to join this. I wish I had. A lot of signings have these games that are played among the readers. This was ours. And this is the last look at what the room looked like before everybody poured in. It's an incredible feeling right now. It's a lot of energy, a lot of nerves, a lot of hard work to get to this point. Every author event that I've been to includes a photo of all the authors in attendance. If you look closely, second line, the last M, you'll see my face. These photos were shot by the event photographer as I was hustling. I was visiting with readers and trying to keep my table up to date, and this group of guys were super friendly and pretty much represented what the event was about. And this is my friend Ryan. He appeared on the cover of my last Seal book. And a photograph of me. And that smile on my face is genuine. I was truly happy. And me and my assistant, and photobombed by a guy I don't know who he was. This was at a request by one of the reader's daughters, and I never turn anybody down for any request. And this was the winner of the bag. So once the signing is over and all the prizes are given away and all the books are signed, it's time to clean up. Cleanup is very short. It doesn't take very long. But for me, I'm exhausted. I literally go upstairs, make sure all my stuff is together, jump in the shower, and I'm known to fall asleep and miss out on all the festivities just because it's so much work. Now, after the book signing is over and I board that plane, I was talking about how I don't always sell a book at the signing. I sometimes sell it afterwards. For me, my book sales go up about 30% after the signing is over. I notice an uptick in sales, and I hope that that's true for every author. Some of the things that I didn't touch on earlier is, in addition to having books on my table, I also have little, cute little giveaways, or swag as they call them. I tend to keep my stuff simple. I read an article, oh my gosh, years ago, where another quite successful author said that you never give anything away that doesn't have your name on it, and you never give anything away that isn't useful. I see a lot of people who give brochures and things away, and I do see those being tossed a lot, and so I avoid those. But I give chapstick, lotion, bookmarks, pens, those sort of things away at my table. Again, because chapstick, I know very few people who don't enjoy a good tube of chapstick. Lotion, enough said. Bookmarks, some folks call them quitter sticks, and call them what you want. And I do hand sanitizers. Those are always nice too, but it all has my name. It all has some way to get a hold of me, some way to trigger them into, oh yeah, I meant to get that book, or I meant to check that out. So I do plan on doing a So You Want to Be an Author video, and I'll get much more in depth with that, with more swag ideas and things in that video. But thanks so much for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. I do have a video coming up where I'm the reader. Authors are readers too, and this time I'm going to take you on a signing where I bought a ticket and I am just me.